Does this sound familiar to you? At the beginning of your relationship, there was love bombing, lots of kindness, generosity. They're moving things along really quickly. They always want to be with you, and they're just like your dream partner. But then over time, things started slowly changing, and it started with small manipulations and control tactics till eventually they were controlling your finances. Even when you earn as much or more money than them, they can still try to control finances. And we find ourselves making excuses for them, like, well, they didn't really mean it that way when they were asking me all these questions about money. They really care about saving. They really care about investing, that kind of thing. They were trying to be helpful. And the control comes in such small increments over time that it's just barely noticeable until one day there's this giant blow up, and it could be that they are just coming down on you about money and how you're spending it, or they have done something that's a large betrayal to you concerning money. Like maybe they spent all the money in your account and you went to buy groceries and your card didn't work or something like that. So, at first the financial control can sound like really caring behavior, like, I make a lot more than you, why don't you let me take over the house payment or the rent or whatever. Or maybe they say, you do most of the child care, so I'll handle the bills. Let me take that off your hands. I'm better at finances, so I'll handle all the savings and investments. And they may say, I'll give you money anytime you need it. Just ask me. So you think, oh, this person's taking care of me and it feels so wonderful. Or they might say, let's put all our money together in one account so we can reach our financial goals, save for a house, or invest so that we can have more money or something like that, budget better. And like I said, you're just thinking, oh, this person loves me so much, they're going to take care of me. They're going to really help me financially. And it may be that you struggled financially in the past. You know that you struggled, so you're happy to hand that over to somebody else. Or maybe you have so much stress on your plate with your job or your kids or whatever, and it's just nice to feel that trust in somebody that they will take over and you know that they will handle it. And most likely you're a person of integrity and high conscientiousness, so you expect the person that you love is going to handle money the way you would handle it, because you're honest and trustworthy. So you expect that person to be honest and trustworthy as well. And then, you become comfortable with them taking care of things until, like I said, one day there's just a big blow up. It could be that, they went off on a tangent about how you spent some money outside of the budget, and it could be that you were buying shoes for your son that is growing so fast, or maybe you had a car repair come up and you just expected, well, my partner's going to understand that I had to spend this money. It's not like I'm just trying to go crazy and go outside the budget. But when they confront you and they rage at you and they, criticize you and they, ask all these questions, they're training you over time to have to feel like you have to ask for permission to use money, even if it's your own money that you are earning. You start to feel like oh, I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't ask my partner if I can spend this money on myself. Or maybe there's a large repair that pops up on your house or something like that. It could be hail damage or a burst pipe or a tree limb fell on your roof. And you feel pretty comfortable that you have put money aside. You've both agreed that, we have this emergency fund, and when you go to check that emergency fund to pay for these repairs, there's no money there because they have spent it somewhere else or they never put it aside in the first place. Another situation that's happened, this has happened to many people that I've talked to, where they have a credit card just show up at the house or a statement or something, or maybe they're looking at their credit report and they find out that all these credit cards have been taken out in their own name. So it's, it ends up being a big mess, because if you go through a divorce when there are credit cards in your name, usually you're the one that gets the responsibility to pay those credit cards. So something to watch out for. But I've heard of several people that that's happened to, where they've found credit cards in their own name that they never took out. So in order to keep you under their financial control, a narcissist has several manipulative tactics. They just have this playbook, and it's very common to most narcissists to use all of these tactics. So one of the tactics they use is, excuse me, I'm having trouble talking. One of the tactics they use is denial. So they will either say, I know nothing about that credit card, or I never agreed to put money aside for emergency funds. That was supposed to be your job. Or you knew I was spending this money. I told you that I was going to buy this, whatever they bought. So denial is one of the tactics they use to control you with money. You start to think, well, maybe he did tell me, or maybe she did, have good intentions spending that money, whatever. Okay, another tactic they use is they blame. They blame you, or they blame somebody else for any misunderstandings or missing money. Maybe you are the one who took the money and hid it. Maybe you are the one that spent the money and you are blaming me. That's the type of thing that they'll say to you. They won't agree or take responsibility for what they've done with money, but they will blame it all on you. Another thing that they do is they will shame you about money. Like, you've never been good at taking care of money. They make you feel incompetent with your money management, or they make you feel financially illiterate. Like, you just don't understand how investment works, that type of thing. So they use shame. They also use attacking. So that's where they attack you for going over the budget. They attack you for spending too much on an item or not agreeing with how they handled the money. So, it looks like a big giant argument over something that you did. And even if you are honest and responsible, they will find a way to, shift the blame onto you. And they do it by attacking you, making you feel afraid, or making you feel insecure, like maybe I did do something wrong, when really you didn't. They will play the victim. This is a big one in their toolbox. They start with denial, and they go to blame, then they go to playing the victim. Well, They make you feel guilty for not understanding why they had to spend the money. They needed to take out a credit card in your name, or they can't save anything because you always spend money and they're the poor victim that's, sitting on the sidelines not doing anything wrong. They will also interrupt you whenever you bring up concerns about money or you want to talk about the budget. They interrupt you and they change the subject. They just, keep you from being able to get your thoughts out. They make you feel defensive, and you can't get your point across ever because they just will keep you from doing that. So they will also use sleep disruption. This is another tactic that they use, and they do this because when they can keep you from getting enough sleep, they can get you to agree to things that you would normally agree to. They can talk you into spending money that you didn't want to spend in the first place. They can just make you too tired to disagree or make a conscious decision. So that's another big one. Then another tactic that they like to use is endless talking. And this is where they talk in circles, and they talk 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 and they talk. And you start just feeling like, please, can we just end this conversation? I'll agree to whatever it is you think you need. If you care that much about it, I will agree, just so you will shut up and leave me alone. That's how that feels. So, you know what I'm talking about if you've had this happen to you. It's like they're talking you to death. The next one is the silent treatment. And this one is where they ask you for, money that they want to spend, or they confront you about money that you spent, and then they don't talk to you for days. The reason they do that is because it makes you feel shameful. It makes you feel sad. It makes you feel like you want to apologize just so you can get the conversation going again. And it's a form of punishment. It's a form of emotional abuse. So another tactic is escalation. And that's kind of like the attacking, except that escalation is where they begin to raise their voice. They begin to change their emotions to rage and anger. And, you may start out a conversation feeling really calm and like you're going to discuss things like an adult, but they start to really escalate, raise their voice, and they put you on the defensive. And you may even become fearful of their anger and how they're acting at the time. And you want to get away, you want to agree just so that their anger will stop. And again, this is another form of control. They use it to make you fearful and scared. That's what they want. Another tactic, this is the last one, is question bombardment. So this is where they're just going to pepper you with questions until, you can feel that they are very critical of what you're saying, and they're just going to keep questioning you until you just begin to feel stupid. And, it could be things like how much money you spent and why did you spend that much? Did you really think we needed that? What did you think that was going to do to the budget? And they're just, popping off all these questions until you just feel like you're interrogated and you're about to be arrested or something for overspending. And you begin to question, like, maybe I didn't make the wrong choice. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And, that's exactly what they want. They want you to question your own judgment They want you to rely on them for all the decision making. So the more they can make you feel insecure and like you can't make money decisions, the better for them, because they get that control. So again, their whole goal in financial arguments is to get you to relinquish control of finances over to them. And that benefits them in many ways, because the less money you spend, the more they have for their own spending. The more they can control where you go, what you do, or who you talk to. Because if you don't have money, you can't leave them. You can't go off and find somebody else that's better. You can't even be with your friends and family because you can't afford to travel to see them. You can't afford to do anything with them outside of the home, outside of what he does. So, you know, it's really a problem. And, you know, the thing about narcissists is that they think everything is black or white, like win or lose. So if they are not gaining control over you, then they're not winning. If they're not winning, that means they're losing. So, you know, you think about that when you're having an argument with a narcissist. If they are not winning, they're not happy. So they're going to do whatever it takes to win over you. So that makes you the loser all the time. And you know, the thing is too, is that, you know, the more you get upset, like let's say you cry or you begin yelling back at them, they like that. And the reason they like that is because that tells them that they have had an effect on you, that whatever they're doing is working. It's causing a reaction out of you, which means, hey, this is working. I'm gaining control. I'm winning. She's upset now, or he's upset, whatever it is. They're upset and I'm winning. So that's exactly what they want to see. Now, typical advice for people that are having financial problems in a relationship, you know, that's supposedly the #1 cause of divorce. So if you were to go to a couples counselor or any kind of financial counselor together, they're going to help you stay together and agree on, you know, different budgeting things. They're going to talk to you about keeping your money together, budgeting together. And that's the worst advice for somebody that's in a narcissistic relationship, because it's not really safe for you to put your money together with theirs. So if you've already found yourself in this situation, there are a few things you can do to start to reclaim your financial freedom. And the first is, do not go to a couples counselor or combined financial counseling together, because those are not going to be helpful in a narcissistic relationship. You may not know for sure that your partner is narcissistic, but if you listen to this video so far and you've heard some of these tactics that they use, and you know that they're using them in your relationship, you've seen these resonate with you, then chances are you are in a relationship with somebody that is toxic or highly narcissistic, and you don't need a diagnosis to decide that, you know, this is not healthy for you. So the first thing to recognize is that when someone else is controlling you financially, this is a form of abuse. And I know that sounds really harsh, but some people say don't call it abuse, but to me, like, that was really helpful to me to know that this is a form of abuse. You know, you're not just making all this stuff up in your head. This really is happening to you, and it's really harmful. So it's abusive because it restricts your right to safety and security. And, you know, even in the face of danger, because what if something were to happen and you needed to get a hold of finances? You can't. So you would have to rely on family members or friends to come to your rescue, and that's just not right. That's not fair. You know, of course, hopefully you have somebody like that in your life, but that doesn't mean that you want to depend on them or you should have to depend on them. You should be able to depend on your partner, and that's not the case in a narcissistic relationship. So you have to create your own safety and security. So I'm going to tell you some ways that you can do that. And, you know, not only is this a form of abuse, but it also causes ongoing stress. It keeps you in fight or flight, which causes health symptoms as well. So you may start having migraines, you may be having joint pain, you may be exhausted all the time, you may have inflammation, digestive problems, all those kinds of things. So it's really important in many ways to get this situation under control. So the first thing that you need to do is to start getting familiar with narcissistic traits and, you know, the signs of financial manipulation. So, you know, narcissists have a pattern of behavior when they are in relationships, and they pretty much follow a script. So, you know, you can start to recognize those signs and start to protect yourself. So, one of the things that is really important is to start putting money aside for yourself that's in a secret, hidden place. Now, there will be people that are worried that, you know, doesn't this make me like the narcissist? I'm not being honest. I'm lying. But the thing is that your intentions are not bad intentions. Like a narcissist's intentions, when they lie, they're trying to manipulate and control you. You're not trying to manipulate and control anybody. You're just trying to keep yourself safe. If you have children, you're trying to keep your children safe. So it's really important to look out for yourself. You can open a high yield savings account. So that's an online account. You don't even have to go into a bank. You can do it all online. You can earn up to, like, I believe one of the highest I've seen is like 4.6%. So as you're putting money away, you're earning interest on it. And so hopefully, you know, when you need it, that money has grown somewhat. So you can have part of your paycheck just automatically sent there. You know, tell your spouse that it's a new savings program that your company offered or something, whatever it is, a new investment that you wanted to try. But you can have it automatically taken out of your paycheck. If you don't have a paycheck, you're living at home and, you know, taking care of, not living at home, but staying home and taking care of your family or your household, then maybe you're not earning an income at this time. So what a lot of people have done is gone to the grocery store, added a little bit of money onto their grocery bill, or maybe I've heard of people buying gift cards with their groceries so that it just looks like another purchase on the grocery bill. but you can put those gift cards aside. You can turn those into cash for the high yield savings account, and that can help you put some money aside. Another thing you can do is start a side hustle where you are flipping furniture, you're helping somebody create a garden, you're teaching people how to make sourdough bread, or you're helping people organize their home. You can do virtual organization sessions. Whatever it is that you're really good at, you can take that skill and turn it into money in some way. And it can be money that your spouse doesn't necessarily know about, because they don't know exactly how much you're making or who you're charging or whatever. So that can be money that you can put away for yourself. A lot of people put down multi-level marketing companies, but that's one of the things that I really love. It's helped me a lot. I've done a couple of different ones, but look for one that has owners that have high integrity. It has a good payment program, a way to scale really easily. And a lot of these multi-level marketing companies have really good training services, and they're free because they want to train you to make more money. It helps the company, it helps everybody on the team. So you get free training. So I think that's really great for women, and especially. So look into that. But I just want to put a disclaimer here as well. If you feel unsafe in any way, you feel like you can't put money aside, because if you did, you would get in a lot worse trouble, or if you feel trapped in any way, reach out to thehotline.org, because they have services that can help you. Or you may have local women's shelters near you. They have resources. They have financial experts, and they have attorneys and all kinds of things. So don't feel like you have to do this alone. I do one-on-one coaching sessions, so you don't have to do this alone. It can be really scary, and you need a whole support team, not just one coach or therapist. You need lots of different support teams, and that includes family members. It includes local groups. It could be a 12-step group or any other kind of women's group. A trusted friend or family, a clergy member, wherever you can reach out to others to help you, even an online Facebook group or something like that. Don't try to do this alone. You're not alone. Okay, so thanks so much for joining. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have questions, list them in the comments. I'll read them. If you want to DM me on Instagram, feel free to do that too, and I will answer your questions there. So thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.